everybody, and welcome to another edition of On the Homefront, our weekly community affairs series here on CTV 14. My name is John Murphy, your host, and I'm very happy to be here with you, sharing some time once again. Our entire program this week is going to be focused on the campaign of Merrick to run for the U.S. Senate. As you know, we have an election in 2010, just about a year from now, and we have a very active field of many candidates who are trying to run for race. And we're going to spend a whole half hour today with Merrick as the first of a whole series of shows we're going to do between now and Election Day to give all the candidates some direct airtime to communicate with you and to share their positions. I think one of the real issues today for media today is to give candidates time to speak and communicate in more than sound bites and in more than a hostile confrontational environment when they're really trying to debate issues more than find solutions together. So what we're going to do today is give some time to Merrick to introduce himself to you, to talk about the ideas that form his campaign, some of his goals and objectives. We'll hear from him again later as the campaign moves forward. We'll also give similar opportunities to the other candidates running, also on the Republican side, so you have an opportunity to hear unedited, extended conversations with time and quality to give the candidate a chance to reach those people who may be voting. So thank you for staying with us, and I want to thank you, Merrick, for being here today to get us started on this new series.
Thanks for having me, John. You got a great show. I'm honored to be here with you. Thank you.
Okay, so before we get into some of the issues that you are going to be focusing on in the campaign, I think you wanted to begin just by introducing yourself to people and to share some of the thoughts why you decided to enter the race.
You know, what I do, John, every time I travel around the state, every day, I sit with folks, and the first thing I do for a few minutes is tell them who I am. They're very familiar with who Senator Dodd is. And so I think I have an obligation to tell them, here's who I am, here's what my journey has been and why I'm in front of you today. I was born in Hartford, and after not many days, went home to Colchester, Connecticut, where I grew up. I was raised by a single mom. My father left when I was a little boy, and I didn't see him again all through my life. And that taught me several things, because I saw my mom work as a school teacher. She was a labor member, a union school teacher. And she spent a lot of years struggling, quite frankly, to support my brother and sister and myself. She cut bread at the Colchester Bakery as a second job. And I remember from my earliest days seeing a person work really hard to raise a family, seeing a single parent work really hard. And that was really impactful for me. Thanks to a lot of the folks listening to us today, I was able to get the loans from the people of Connecticut to go to the University of Connecticut. And that really changed my life. That really shaped me. Those years I was at UConn really put me on the right trajectory. And I was there yesterday, in fact, visiting with folks. And I think the world of UConn. And I'm really grateful for the people in this state who believed in me. I always say that I'm not asking you to support me or believe in me or invest in me for the first time. This is the second time. The first time paid big dividends. And so from UConn, I went on to Trinity and graduated from Trinity, and then went on to Georgetown Law School and graduated from there. And I had been involved in politics and public service throughout that time. I had worked for Al Gore, for example, during my time in school. And when I got out of law school, I went to a big firm in Connecticut, in Hartford. And it wasn't for me. It was about, quite frankly, about profits over people. And that's the way I felt. And I didn't feel comfortable. It wasn't a good match. So I took, as I jokingly say, I think I took an 80% or 90% pay cut and left the big law firm and went on to work for Clinton and Gore on the campaign. And that led to the inaugural, working on the inaugural, and then working on the healthcare campaign. And so 16 years later, much of what I'm seeing out there is similar to what I saw 16 years ago on the healthcare campaign.
Except the healthcare situation is much worse.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's a true statement. And so from there, I had always believed in national service. I've always believed that folks should serve. And for me, the form of that took military service. So after college and law school, I enlisted in the Army, and kind of a unique way to do it, as indicated to me by the drill instructors who, after a few days, when somebody got my file in their hand and they figured it out, they about 4:30 in the morning, as I was getting tortured, doing push-ups and sit-ups, they mentioned to me when I began calling me professor, and shortly thereafter I was on a different bus on the way to Army JAG School, and I eventually got a commission and graduated from the Army JAG School, which is a brilliant institution in Virginia. And so after that, I went and did my military time. For me, because it was reserve duty, I was interweaving it with a civilian life. But it ended up coming to fruition as I went over to Bosnia. I had actually transferred over to the Air Force at that point, and I volunteered and went to Bosnia as a U.S. peacekeeper, and I was on the ground for 6 months in that Muslim nation, and that was a powerful, life-changing experience. I'd say to folks, you don't need to see many mass graves or orphanages to come back, I think, quite frankly, a much more dedicated, focused human being than you want to have. And when I came back, what I did was I put together, with a buddy of mine, put together a medical software company. And we built that up, and after a lot of years of not getting paid and eating instant potatoes and sleeping on an air mattress.
Paying your dues.
That's right, paying my dues and creating jobs. What I did was sold off that company to an investment group, and then took another company over and built that up and sold that off. And along the way, I met my wife, who's an immigrant from the nation of Colombia and a naturalized U.S. citizen. And we actually met on the Gore campaign. I was continuing to do work on and off for Al Gore. And so we met out in California, literally while Al Gore was sleeping in the other room. I was telling her that I thought the two of us should go on a date. And I said, I'm probably the only guy today, John, in America who looks at Al Gore and thinks romantic thoughts. So
Nice story, though.
It's great. It's great. Yeah, whenever we see Al Gore or Tipper Gore, we always joke about it. We always joke about it. Had a very happy ending. So today we live in Mystic with our 3 kids, 3 little kids, 5 and a half, 3 and a half, and about 3 months. So that brings you up to date.